Hi there, I'm Rex King, and welcome back to another episode of From the Archive. One of these days I'm gonna get a better schedule for this show and have it at least be consistent. Anyway, today we're talking about the American Film Theater. For those of you who don't know, the American Film Theater was a production company that existed between 1973 and 1975. They basically had the stated goal of bringing uh, plays to a wider audience while also getting uh, people who were going to plays on the regular to maybe go see a movie. It was a really niche market, and they had some varying success, especially with their early version of a subscription service, which was a disaster, as it didn't really work all that well, and people didn't get their tickets that they actually paid for, so that did not go over well. But the company endured for 2 seasons, as they called it, and pretty much released 13 films. And, well, there has been some debate whether or not these are actually movies or just plays shot on film. So, the best way to answer that question is to, look at one of these movies and maybe see how it holds up and see if it's more of a movie or more of a play. And with that, let's talk about Luther. So Luther, starring Stacy Keach, was directed by Guy Green, and it's based off the play of the same name by John Osborne, and pretty much just follows Martin Luther, the man behind Lutherans, and pretty much what his life. It's a biopic, or bioplay, depending on what you want to say. So, right off the bat, I'm going to give you my opinion on whether or not I consider this a movie or a play, and then I'm going to give you my reasons for that. So, I do believe Luther is definitely more of a play than a movie. And the reason is, the categories that a movie follows. For example, the story in the movie or performance, I'm going to call it performance from now on because it really is, again, more of a stage performance in my opinion, is really weirdly paced. Now, admittedly, the story isn't going to be that different from a biopic, but in film, a biopic can, flesh out more of the story, show us more key scenes. Here we get a couple speeches, and we don't really get to see the character progress. Instead, we have a narrator who's also a character in the story, yet again, something that you would see more in a play than a movie. And he tells us about things that are happening off screen and how our main character is making waves in religious history, but it just doesn't work for me. It feels really poorly paced and just comes off as, badly written. At least by movie standards. In a play, I would really expect it to do that, as plays are more limited on what they can show, and are only going to show certain key scenes, especially character speeches, as those are more prevalent on a stage production. Then you have the characters. Now, the only character who's even written remotely interesting and is even remotely fleshed out is our main character, Martin Luther, which makes sense. The film is supposed to be entirely about him, or performance, and it doesn't even do that all that well. Like I said, it cuts several scenes that I would be expecting to see to further get us invested in our main character, and that is a huge problem for me. We also have the visuals, which is probably one of the key things that really show that this is a play more than a movie, as you can definitely tell that these are built on sets. And not only that, but you have several instances where a character will go to the other end of the room and all of a sudden you're in a different location and different scene, even though they literally clearly just walked across the stage, which again, in a play is to be expected. In a movie, you want a smoother transition that really depicts this as a different location. Furthermore, a lot of the different locations in this movie are really clearly the same set, just redecorated, and that is distracting. As such, there are times where I don't feel like we've moved locations, even though we have supposedly moved to a completely different setting than when we were prior. That is not only jarring, it doesn't really make sense. And maybe if the movie opened itself up more, it would feel more like a film as opposed to a stage performance. Now, the performance of Stacy Keach as Martin Luther is good. It just is not anything special as far as I'm concerned. And definitely feels like it was made for the stage, again, as opposed to the film. Now, just saying that this is a more of a play versus a movie truly an insult to this production? No, not really. Look, I am clearly not the audience for this. I've mentioned all my problems with this film as I've stated throughout this review and video, but I can see what they were going for, and I do respect the ambition. I mean, trying to bring in an audience that doesn't usually go to a movie theater into a movie theater to also like make this production more well known. It's a decent idea, and I can see why they would try to do something like that. It's just not meant for me. Now, again, the American Film Theater Company had 13 movies. Maybe one of them felt more like a film than the others, and maybe the others are justifiably better. I don't know. I haven't seen all of them. I've seen one other one, to be honest with you, but it also felt like a play, and I didn't like it either. So yeah, at the end of the day, Luthor, as far as a film is concerned, not good. As far as a play is concerned, middle. And as far as the American Film Theater is concerned, yeah, you gotta use your judgment here. If you are someone who loves plays and just really wanted to see a certain play that was the American Film Theater Company did, definitely see if you can find a copy on Blu-ray or DVD. I mean, I found this one pretty easily. I imagine the other ones can't be too difficult to find. And yeah, I mean, definitely give it a shot if it feels like this is up your alley. As for me, this is kind of a pass, but who knows? Maybe I'll cover other films on the American Film Theater Company's repertoire. Anyway, that's my opinion on Luthor and the American Film Theater Company, sort of. As I said, what did you think about it, or if you've seen it? Let me know in the comments below. And what did you think about the American Film Theater Company if you've seen any more of their movies? Or if you have a suggestion from the American Film Theater Company? Definitely let me know, because this isn't something I'm completely against, and I don't mind covering more of these. Anyway, I'm Rex King, and I'll see you next time.